Shalom. This is a picture of the Golan Heights, and I believe that's Mount Hermon in the background, if I'm not mistaken. But there's been some connections that Felt the Ruach has made, and I'm supposed to get this video out, and I've been working on it since August 9th. I'm just trying to understand, and this past week I felt those Ruach, his breath, just kind of jar me to read Amos and Nahum again. And I did, and there were the connections that I think he'd been talking to me about, but I didn't understand yet. So I wanted to get this out, and I think that what's coming is, I don't know, it's pretty profound, so I don't know what to do, so I just put this out, and maybe it's a warning video, I don't know. But I wanted to start with this article that I'm really thankful that J.D. Farag had read a few weeks ago when it came out, and it was about the Odd Couple. That's why I remembered it, because I don't know, there was a television show that I think it was back in the day, I don't know, but this got me thinking. And this article, it went on to talk about the political trade, and that was kind of made me start thinking about some stuff. And it said here, like, through quiet trade and aid are more difficult to back from Jerusalem, which will likely remain neutral on that front as well. So I've been thinking about this ever since, kind of on one level. And there has been some speculation in recent weeks that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been cultivating ties with Putin, has now also mended fences with Erdogan, is seeking a Russian broker deal on Syria that will somehow involve the Golan Heights. That is, of course, speculation. Well, what happened was there was a particular couple of individuals that I happened to run across, and both of them are from Israel, but one was involved in the government. Well, I didn't ask that person, I asked the other person something, and I referenced this article, and I said, well, could this be disinformation? Why would they do that? And it's not what he said, he just tried to get away from me very quickly, so I'm not sure why, but that obviously piqued my curiosity even further. So then this is when I started reading in Nahum, and it talked about he threatens the sea and dries it up and exhausts all rivers, the land of Bashan and Karmel are brought low, and the flourishing trees of Lebannon have come to naught. The mountains quake at him. So this is in Nahum, so it talks about Bashan. Okay? And then Amos also talks about Bashan. And he says, also for Gaza, because there's obviously, this is multi-leveled here. And I highly recommend, was it Bashan? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. In chapter 4. And it says, hear ye this word, ye heifers of the land of Bashan. So it made me think of bull, like a bull market. So I'm wondering if this is like multiple layered here. And so then I started thinking about Psalm 68. And then it says, I will bring again from Bashan. So there's something getting ready to happen again. So maybe it was fulfilled on one level, but then there's something else getting ready to happen that maybe he thinks about in a different way. So, and I did some research, and in Joshua 21:27, it talks about, to the sons of GЄrshon, are one of the families, the Levites from the half tribe of Menashsheh or Menashsheh, they gave Golan in Bashan. So this was one time, I think it was a city or refuge, So that's, Abba considers that his land, which it belongs to him. So, and here's Bashan, and how you spell it, the Bet, Shen, and Nun. Okay, so I'll link this in the bottom so you can go through that and research that. And you can obviously Google for the Jerusalem Post article. So I did a table and for Golan Heights, and it came up one time with the way that this was spelled in this code. So, and it was at a skip of 894, Jeremiah 3:12 to 15:7. And of course, Golan Height is the access term right here. Okay. And what came up was really profound, and I'm thinking that this is something different. So we have an army, we have an alliance, treaty, or covenant. Dimmer, that can mean like eclipse, alliance, treaty, and it says this alliance or treaty. Solar eclipse, and sun also came up in here, which I didn't get. Lunar, monthly, there's the trees, and then it has, I'm sorry, I should have done it this way so you could see it. So, Elon, lunar, alliance, and then Psalms came up in this table like this. So Psalms, and then here we have alliance, treaty, Nahum came up. So there's some kind of connection with this. And then Nahum came up 3 different ways, 3 different times, and 3 different spellings, which I was pretty blown away by that. Just trying to think outside of the box. So again, I was looking, well, maybe Jerusalem Post. So Jerusalem came up in the plain text, which was right here. Okay. And then I looked for post, and that came up. Peace treaty, Psalms, Nahum 3 times, Jerusalem, and there's post. So I thought, oh, that's where the article originated from, and post came up in this format here. And then understanding, Valentine, okay, vanish, Vashti came up in this with peace, and Rome. Remember the other table, that the cauldron, because Vashti was Rome and Rome was Vashti. Okay. And then Russian, peacemaker, Tubal. And of course, Yod-Heh, I always look for this because he sees everything. You can't escape him. A facade. Facade came up, aquamarine, cattle, petrol and petroleum, PLO, river, and lo and behold, stern group came up in this. So stern group is all in this. Came up multiple times. So there's other searches that I had done for this. So, I mean, this is really something. And the solar and the sun. So I don't know, are they sun worshippers? I don't know. But the stern group was in here. And I'll show you another table. So as I kept looking for this and doing some research, oh boy, it talks about how they shape their message in Washington, D.C. and beyond to assure their voice is heard. This is like economics and diplomacy stuff that they do. But apparently, and it says, advocate and resolve economic and legal rights and trade disputes worldwide, and then enforce, look at this, enforce international arbitration awards through quiet diplomacy. I felt that language is very interesting because it talks about enforcing something. Are they meaning enforcing economically? So what if it's an economic treaty or pact? Because if you read in Nahum, Amos, and Psalms, it talks about the poor and the needy and what they're doing to that. And so I did a little bit more digging, and lo and behold, Israel grants oil to Golan Heights. And guess who's all involved in this? Yep, him, Rothschild, Fox News, Murdoch, to drill for oil in Syria. It's all about resources and the control and trying to control people through that because of their greed. So I wanted to get this out, and maybe we're thinking of it in a wrong way. Maybe it's not just this whole thing. Maybe it's all about, of course, probably oil. I'm gonna get this up, and I wanted to show something else here. So let me find this other table I did. And it was, I wanted 2 witnesses. And so here's the other table. I did cosmic, and I spelled it how the Bible code spells it. So cosmic was the search term, and it came up at a skip of 119, 1 Chronicles 28:8 to 1 Chronicles 29:21. So cosmic was the search term. And I wanted to see if there were other things, and sure enough, so deed, event, like cosmic event. And so as people keep messing with Yod-He, Vav-He's land, it's creating cosmic ripples throughout the universe. Because this is beyond, this has existed, and this is his land, and this belongs to him, and it's creating these cosmic waves. So that's how I look at it. Manifest, key, proclamation, enlightenment, illumination, manifestation of something, of a cosmic event, festival. Yom Kippur came up in a different way to spell it. Covenant, testament, pact, ally, league, Yom Kippur, Shavuot. Forecaster, covenant, treaty, pact. Nahum came up in this. Oil, episode, accident, event, another event, like a cosmic event. Sign, Yasher. This came up, was amazing. I've been reading in Yasher, and guess who kills Nimrod? I won't tell you, you have to look it up yourself. Stern group comes up in this, with Thames. And I thought was really something is that one of the person's name was London, and then you have London the river in the other code that the table that I just brought up. So Thames River, like they just did something funky to commemorate the burning of London. I mean, how weird. Paid, mountain, Yod-He, Vav-He. How amazing. He's in here, and he sees everything, and you can't escape from him. And guess who else came up with this code? Wonder what he's doing with the Stern group. Al Gore. And of course, Jupiter, Fable, and Howl, and Elul. So I wanted to get this video. I won't keep it long. Do your research. Watch and pray. Pray for for Israel and Jerusalem, because they're doing stuff behind back doors, deals, and all kinds of stuff, because they're full of greed and they're trying to control everything in this. And I just wanted to pray for the peace. Shalom.